Hi everyone, Michaela here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you are here. Today we are in my kitchen and we are going to do a chop and chat. I know that quite a few different wax YouTubers have been doing that, and so I thought I'd go ahead and do that since I have so many from Teddy Bees that I do need to chop up this week. I'm not sure about the camera angle. I've been messing around with it a little bit, so maybe next time I'll try sitting somewhere else. I did want to be in my kitchen just in case I felt like I needed to use the microwave and melt it, but Teddy Beeswax is generally pretty soft, so I think we should be fine. So we will just go ahead and grab and get started. So this one is Baby Lou. So sweet lavender, cotton candy, vanilla cake pops. It's just the chunks. So the chunks are super, super easy to cut up into smaller pieces. So I only had one person that had any questions this time. So I do have two different wax cutters. I like this one for the smaller stuff, and then I use this one for the bigger stuff. So her question was first, who is my favorite vendor? Now, to be honest, I really can't choose a favorite wax vendor, but I can kind of tell you a little bit about, kind of my wax history and whatnot. So I started buying vendor wax back in 2018, and to be honest, I don't even remember how I got started. But it was definitely like a rabbit hole that I quickly fell down. Back in 2018, the vendors that I purchased from were Vintage Chic Scents. This one is Sugar Plum Romance. So I purchased from Vintage Chic Scents, and I purchased a ton. I purchased from Super Tarts, from Rose Girls, from Sassy Girl Aroma. I purchased from the Bathing Garden. And then I purchased like one or two things from L3, but I think all I ever did was like a Halloween sampler or Advent thing. So I bought a ton of wax, and I lived in a different house at that time. It was before we moved here. We were either just barely in the process of building this house, or well, halfway through 2018 is when we started building this house. So when I first got into wax, I don't think we were. So we were in a different house. We were renting at the time because we had just moved from Texas to Idaho, and I didn't want to immediately buy a house because I was unfamiliar with the area. So mostly due to us then deciding like, hey, we're probably gonna move, I really slowed down with my wax purchasing, and I kind of stopped because I knew I was gonna have so much stuff that we had to move. We have 6 kids, and so moving anyway is a pain, but then when you take into account, the kind of stashes that many of us get. And then I also started working rather than being at home, and so I found that I just wasn't changing my wax very often, and so I had so much to get through. So I kind of, for most of 2019, I really didn't buy any wax. I just kind of fell off of it. I wasn't really using my warmers very much. I'm not gonna cut this one up because it's a clamshell, but I wasn't really using my warmers very much, and so I just really didn't buy anything. And a lot of it was because I was working full time. I also kind of got back into an essential oils kick for a little while, and feeling like I was trying to use more essential oils for health benefits. But eventually I just missed my scents. So when I started buying again, I really started mostly at first with like Rose Girls, Sassy Girl Aroma, and Super Tarts. I didn't really buy much of the Vintage Chic scents at that time. And then I also started getting into other vendors and trying out some other vendors. So if you go by like longevity, it would definitely be like Sassy Girls and Super Tarts. That would probably be some of my top ones. As you saw in one of my recent videos, I just don't have much luck with Rose Girls in this home. And if my house was cleaner, I would show you why. I will clean my house. Well, I clean my house all the time. It's just I have 6 kids, and so it doesn't stay very clean. But one of these days I will show you why I think that Rose Girls just doesn't do well in here. It's just we have a 2-story open concept that is both over here in the family room and then also in the front room, and I feel like scents in here just get lost. So I'll probably still buy some Rose Girls every now and then, like some of her fresh scents and maybe some of her peppermint, but in general, I think I'm going to stick mostly with other vendors that work in my home. Sassy Girl Aroma, she's one of the ones that works consistently for me. I don't really have issues with her throw. Super Tarts also works pretty consistently for me. I think I've only had one scent recently that didn't have much throw, and that was a pear scent, which was probably a good thing because I'm discovering I don't really like pear. Spoiler alert, I guess. So far, I'm having great performance with my Teddy Bees, and I'm really getting very excited for my order to be shipping soon. And I'm really enjoying using up some of these scents and not feeling like I have to save them. This one's already chopped up. So, like I said, if I had to choose a vendor, I couldn't choose just one. And I'm really enjoying trying out some new vendors, but I also have staples that I really do like. And I really do like Sassy Girl Aroma. I really do like Super Tarts. I really, really like L3, and I probably have the most from her right now, but it's because it's so easy to get, and she is so wonderful about pouring any kind of request that anybody has. And so I just really enjoy that. It's almost like she's customs all the time, even though I am on her customs list right now, and I'm playing around with what I'm going to do. Okay, so then my second question that she asked was, what is my favorite warmer? Again, I don't think I can really choose one. So I do have over here on this side of my kitchen, I do have my Scentsy Accord. I love that warmer. I feel like it performs great. I love that it has 3 dishes that I can put stuff in to kind of use up. It's a really great warmer. I think if I had to choose a favorite warmer brand, that would definitely be Candle Warmers. I have a ton of their warmers, and they get nice and hot, which I really like. So they have the hot plate, like the 2-in-1s that you can put the candles on, but then they also have the halogen bulb warmers, and all of them perform extremely well. Oh, that one's already cut up too. So I do have a few Scentsy. Like I said, I have the Scentsy Accord, and then I have a couple more decorative ones, but I really don't feel like I personally with Vendor Wax get very great performance from them. But combined with my candle warmers, it does well. So yeah, so I don't think I have a specific favorite warmer by itself, but I really do like the Candle Warmer brand, and I feel like they do very well. Recently, I did get, you can see that pink warmer right there in the background. Recently, I did get that because some people were talking about it on Amazon, and it's actually a very, very good warmer. For the most part, I hot dump my wax, so I just use a cup or like one of the extra tins or whatever, and I just dump into it while it's hot. That one gets so hot. That one, and then a Mainstays one that I have that they don't make anymore like that. They both get so hot that those two I actually use cotton balls for because they're just way too hot to touch. Okay, so those are all of our chunks. We'll move on to our little soufflés. So as I said, I've been doing wax off and on since 2018. I have a large stash, and it took me a while to decide to do a YouTube channel, but so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun but I really do need to focus on using up some of the wax that I have, which is why I'm doing the Operation Use It Up, because I feel like I personally buy so much wax and then I just don't use it up quite as much as I need to. And so I've been enjoying this little challenge that I've been doing for myself. So I do have, like I said, I have like the Essentia cords, and then I also have different sizes of the candle warmers. And so I do cut them into different pieces. So like my smaller pieces I'll use in my cord, and then the bigger ones, sometimes I'll use 2 pieces, sometimes just 1, depending on the scent. So that's why I don't necessarily cut mine into uniform shapes. So I guess a little bit more about me then. I did put up those weight loss videos. So if you've watched those, you know that I've been working on losing weight. Today, Weight Watchers, they came out with their new personal points program. And so I'm excited to get going with that. The way it works, from what I'm understanding, is you answer a questionnaire, which I did this morning, and then you can choose foods that are 0-point foods for you. And then depending on what you choose, you get less points. So one of the things that is now going to be 0 points for me is potatoes and avocados. And so I'm excited about that because I love both of those things. And I know that people seem to be getting really scared about kind of the 0-point food things. But I think that the great thing about it is it's teaching us more to listen to our bodies and how we eat, rather than always the paper and the calories and all of that stuff. Because really we're trying to make this change a lifelong change, or at least I am. And I would like to get to the point where, you know, I can eat more whole foods, less processed foods, but I can also listen to my body and, you know, when I get full or when I'm satisfied or things like that, because that's really how we should be able to eat. Not all of us are that successful at that, and you know, I think that sometimes we as parents can ruin our children and cause them to not eat as well because we're trying to get them to eat on a schedule sometimes, and we're trying to get them to finish all their food. And so I have been trying to readjust my thinking as a parent on how I deal with that with my own kids. This one's Strawberry Fudgery. I haven't been showing you all the names, sorry. So that's one exciting thing for me that's going on today. Today is Monday. I probably won't get this up until Tuesday, but it's a new school week for me. So I need to go sit down and kind of look over all my assignments. We're over halfway through this semester, and I'm really kind of getting to the point where I'm a little burned out. And so I need to rededicate myself and really focus on getting things done. And I need to start thinking about my next semester and what classes I'm going to do. I'm getting really close to the end. I have 2 semesters left, and then I will be done. And it's taken me a long time. I took some breaks in the middle a few times, and yeah, so I'm getting tentatively excited to be more near the end. And then I will decide if I'm gonna go on and continue and get my master's or what I'm going to do. The biggest thing is just cost. I mean, master's degrees are expensive. I'm not worried per se about the actual education, just more about how to pay for it. Trying to think of things to tell you guys. So I've mentioned before that I'm a mom. I have 6 kids. So my oldest is my only daughter. She is 17. She will be 18 in March, and she's a senior this year. So we've been learning new things this year in having a senior. Trying to start looking at colleges and all of those fun, exciting things. And then my next one, he is just turned 15, so he just got his learner's permit. I have to be honest, I haven't been brave enough to drive with him yet. It's mostly just been his dad, but he's excited. Both of them have been really busy. So they're both in high school and they're both in choir, and they're in different like choirs during the day, but then they have a additional choir outside of school hours that they both auditioned for, and they're both in. And my son is is the only freshman that made it into that choir this year. So this last weekend, they have had a big, huge concert for what they call districts. So what this is there's a whole list of music that is given to all the choir students throughout the area, probably throughout the state, I don't know. And they go and they sing individually before judges. And at the time of the singing, they say, okay, we're gonna do this song in these measures. So they don't know until that day exactly what song that they're doing. So they have to learn this whole stack of music. So then they get graded and ranked by the judges. And depending on how they do with that, they go on to the next round, which then encompasses a bigger area of Texas. So the first round that they do is just local schools. The next round that they do is more the region, and then they just continue going up. So the first round, both of my kids made it through, and so they got to then sing in the next round. The next round is where they decide what choir that they're invited to for the local concert, because they do have a local choir concert, which is what we had on Saturday. So the first 13 chairs go on to the next round, and then I'm not sure exactly what place you have to be, but the highest choir that they could be in was the mixed choir, and then they had a treble choir, and then they had an honor choir, which I believe the honor choir is the choir director chooses someone that he feels should be in the honor choir for each school. So with the judging, my daughter, she made 15th chair, so she will not be going on to the next round, which is a huge bummer, especially because it's her senior year, and I know that she was really hoping to do that. She had had COVID the week beforehand, so I think that really just kind of threw off everything in her practicing and all of that. So, you know, I guess life happens. But she still was able to be in the mixed choir. And then my son, he actually made it onto the next round. So he got 7th chair. And so next week, he will be singing again for that. So he's very excited, but he gets very nervous. And so we have to deal with a grumpy teenager for a few days while he's nervous. So these ones are the loaves. So we will go ahead and switch from this one to the other one. Take a drink. So anyway, so Saturday, they had the concert. And it was really cool because, like you can see how old I am. People don't say cool anymore. It was really cool because it was hosted at their high school. And so it was kind of like a huge, hey, this is us type of thing, which was great. And I know that their choir director has really been working hard to build up their choir program and, you know, gain a little bit more recognition and whatnot. So my husband and I went, and one of my sons. The rest didn't want to go, which was fine. We have some that really love music, some that are okay with music. But anyway, so one of them really wanted to go, so we went to that, and it was such an amazing concert. The director that directed for the mixed choir was actually a university director from the University of Austin, and you just could see how much skill and talent she had as a director. And so it was really great being able to watch that and watch their accomplishments. And this was the first concert that they've had in a couple of years because of COVID. So they haven't been able to do the concert. And so it was a really great experience. And I really hope that it's something that my kids, as they get older, that they're gonna treasure these experiences that they have and remember them. I know for me, some of the experiences I had in choir were some of my most treasured high school memories. So who knows, we'll see. So that's what we spent the majority of our Saturday doing this weekend. This one smells really good. I think all of these have smelled really good. I can just smell the scents coming out as I'm cutting into them. And I'm really, really enjoying the texture of Teddy Beeswax because it's really soft and it's really easy to cut into. And sometimes I think that softer wax performs a little bit better, but not always, because I get great performance from Super Tarts, so I don't know. And that's a harder wax. So, so the orders that I have coming up, so I did order from Vintage Chic. So I ordered, when she stocked her Etsy shop, I ordered a few things, and then her pop-up on Sunday, I ordered some. I did order again from Super Tarts, pre-order. I've been ordering pretty fairly consistently like the past month, so I haven't gotten in any of them yet, but I should have quite a few orders coming in from them after that, which I have mixed feelings about. Sometimes I don't like that they have a sale every week because I feel like I can't budget as effectively and I end up spending way more money than what I would like to. So I don't know. I do think I'm going to order from the Wax Wednesday in a couple of days, and then I might try and take a break from ordering from Super Tarts for a while. I'm getting wax like all over my hands. Can you see that? That's how soft this wax is. I love Super Tarts and I have a lot of Super Tarts. I just feel like I have to spend so much money. I don't have to. I'm saying this wrong. I feel like because of the size of my house, if I'm wanting the scents to go throughout my entire house, I always have to get band bags. And then if I want band bags in a few different scents, it just adds up to a lot of money. I do like that she's doing the half BAMs because I do think that that might be a good solution, and I bought a few of those. But I really do have a pretty large stash of Super Tarts, and I feel like if it's not in a clamshell, like it's gonna last you forever. The clamshells, they just get so squishy, but sometimes I wonder if that's just because she puts so much fragrance into them. I really have no idea. I have no idea why her clamshells get squishy, but I have rebagged some of them and then I have no issues. And even the clamshells that are squishy, they still have great performance for me. So I don't notice that it really affects the strength of the wax. So anyway, I'm saying I don't think I feel bad having a large amount because I don't feel like it's gonna go to waste. I just feel like I really do need to slow down with my purchasing and try and use up some of the scents and stuff that I do have. And then especially when you guys see my next orders coming in. So I do have Super Tarts orders that are out, well, not out for delivery yet, but that I placed. I'm very excited because I think next week is the Crisp Melts will be shipping out. I'm excited for those ones. I have my Teddy Bees order that the shipping label has been printed, and so it should be shipping this week. I did place another order from That Smell Good shop. I had to go in and get another thing of the Hagrid. It was delicious. She only had one left, so I did request it in her request list. So if she pours that, I might get some more of that. I understand that I can do like the made to order. but that's kind of a scent that I'd want to be melting now. And so I feel like if I did the made to order, it might take too long to get it in. I also have my Hayden Row pre-order that the shipping label has been printed for that. So I should hopefully be getting that this week, maybe next week, depending on how long shipping takes. I have my Zape order, her Christmas order, that should be delivered sometime today, so I'll record a video for that. And then I have Salt Mountain. I did her pre-order. I think she's starting to ship the middle of November sometime. And then I did do the Swanky pre-order. I have gotten a few of her things in D-stashes, but I have not yet actually gotten anything directly from Swanky. I started looking into them after Charity did her video on Swanky. And this is, like I said, I've been in wax a long time, but I haven't necessarily ordered from that many different vendors. And so this year I've really been trying to kind of go outside my comfort zone, try some new vendors. See, I'm kind of like the person that whenever my husband and I go out on a date to eat, we go to the same place, or we go to the same like 3 places, and then I order the same 1 or 2 things. So I don't necessarily step outside of my comfort zone very often, and I'm trying to this year with wax. And I'm glad that I have, because Teddy Bees was someone new that I tried this year, and I am absolutely loving everything that I've been using from her. And then I think that's all the orders that I have out right now. If you have another vendor that you think that I really should try, that you've had great performance with, please let me know. Like I said, I really do need to go on a no spend for a little while, or at least on a very low spend. The ones that I have a really hard time not consistently ordering from is Sassy Girl Aroma, because she does the restocks all the time. Get that down. And then, like I said, Super Tarts. But I think that if I do the Wax Wednesday and just kind of stock up on a few of the favorites, because I know that mostly she'll just be doing customer favorites because she's voting, letting everyone vote on those. And so it'll be a lot of the favorites. And I feel like if I just stock up mostly on the favorites, that maybe I'll be fine for a while, especially because I have so much. And we have 2 more to go. It's been great that I haven't had to heat any of these up. The next time I really do need some questions, so I have more ideas of what to talk about. So I guess I told you a little bit about my 2 oldest kids. I can talk about my other kids. So my next son, he is, sorry, I have like pieces of wax all over my hands. My next son is 12, and he is in 7th grade. He's doing choir this year as well, and he seems to be enjoying it. He seems to really be thriving in middle school, which I was a little bit worried because last year they did not go to school. They did virtual school, and he just really loved doing the virtual school. I mean, he loved kind of being away from everybody, and he enjoyed doing it on the computer. He enjoyed doing the Zooms, and he just really kind of thrived. So I was a little worried about him going back to school this year. I wasn't sure how well he was going to do, how well he was going to adjust, but he's just really been thriving this year. He's been doing really well. He was in, so Texas passed this new law, which I don't really agree with. I see the good intent, but I don't know. Anyway, so Texas has state testing called STAR testing. And it's something that, you know, if the kids don't pass, then they can possibly not move on to the next grade. And they take it very serious, even if their grades are completely fine. So that's one aspect of it that I really don't agree with, because if the kids are, doing well in their classes, then one test shouldn't determine if they move on or not. Anyway, so they didn't take it last year because they were virtual, and I wasn't going to take them into the school in person to do this test when I'm trying to avoid stuff. My next child, who's 10, had heart surgery as a baby, and so, we were definitely a little more cautious because of that. He doesn't ever have anything like with his heart now, but I mean, you never know. And so we were trying to be more cautious, so they didn't take it. So then my 12-year-old, he was invited to go and do this class. So what the law says now is that if they don't pass their STAR testing, then they have to do a certain amount of hours of training. And so when I found out they wanted him to do this class, I was like, well, I don't think he needs it. I think it's silly for him to have to do it when he didn't take the test last year because of that, but he passed everything else. So I emailed the principal, and she actually called me back, and she was so sweet. And I really do appreciate the principals and the leaders that my kids have this year, because we really do have some great ones. But she actually explained to me that this class was something different, and it was something that she chose a few students for, that they could go before school 3 days a week and take this class. And it's kind of like a study skills type class, but then they do extra fun things. And she said, you can get him here when he can come. When he can't come, it's okay, no big deal. And so I asked him, and he's like, yeah, I want to do it. So he's been doing that this year, and he is just thriving with it and loving it and enjoying it. And I really do feel like it's helping his study skills, but I also feel like it's just works so well with his personality. When he was one of my kids that was never afraid of anybody, he would go and talk to anybody, which is scary as a parent. You don't want your kids just talking to everybody, but he just has always really enjoyed people, has gotten along well with people. And so I feel like doing this class in the morning has really been something that he's been enjoying. My other 3 kids are in elementary school, and they're also doing well this year. My son that had open heart surgery when he was a baby, and maybe I'll do a little video on that. So he had his open heart surgery in the end of October when he was 4 months old. But then he developed an infection in November. And so who knows, maybe around that time in November, I'll do a video on kind of what we went through and show some pictures and stuff. Anyway, but he has a Veterans Day concert this week that he's super excited for, and he also loves music and singing. So we've got a busy few weeks ahead of us. I think that this time of year is busy for everybody. The holidays are always busy, which is good and bad. Sometimes I wish that the holiday time would slow down a little bit, and that way we could just enjoy it. We're still having really nice weather here in Texas. I think it's been in about the 70s. It hasn't been very cold, which I like. I'm not a huge cold person, but I have been buying some new clothes because of my weight loss, and a lot of the clothes I've been buying are long sleeves, so I do wish it would cool down maybe a little bit. But see, I really don't cut them the same every single time, but that's okay. I'm not a perfectionist at all when it comes to cutting wax. Well, honestly, when it comes to a lot of things, but especially in regards to cutting wax. And now I think my whole house is just gonna smell good all day, even though I have stuff melting, but yeah. So that's just a little bit about me and kind of my wax story, a little bit of stories about my kids. Like I said, you know, maybe I'll do a video on Garrett and his heart surgery and kind of what we went through. You know, I definitely learned very quickly that our situation was not even close to the worst situation in the hospital at the time. But compared to, you know, friends and people outside of the hospital, it was pretty drastic. So it's interesting how when we look at our own life situations, we can always find someone that maybe has it worse, maybe has it better. And, you know, that helps us to put things into perspective quite often. At least for me, it does. Okay, so that was the last bag to chop up. We have everything all chopped up now. My hands are a ooey gooey mess from wax, and I have wax all over my pants. That's okay though. I do feel like Teddy B's wax cuts them very easily compared to some other ones. I didn't have to heat anything up, which I do really appreciate. But I would worry a little bit here in Texas with receiving a lot of wax during really hot times that it might melt super easy. So thank you for sticking with me today if you're still here and for watching this. And if you have questions for me for next time, I don't know when I'll do another one. We'll see, maybe depending on what vendor we do next week. I am leaning towards probably doing Sassy Girl Aroma next week because I have so many of her wax and I have a lot of really great fall blends that I'd really like to melt. So maybe we will do Sassy Girl Aroma for our next vendor. We'll see. So that's all I have for you today. Again, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.